Hello everyone, myself Mayank Verma. In this video, we are going to know a little bit further about trigonometry. What are the values of trigonometry beyond 90 degree? Okay, so let's first understand how this term was originated. As the trigonometry deals with triangle, this whole term is derived from two Greek words. First is trigonon and second is metron. So in trigonon means three angles, right? And metron means measurement. Now, whenever we are talking about three-angled figure, which is basically triangle and angles and sides relation, then all things come under trigonometry. Okay. Now, we know this that sine 30 degree. Yes, we know that is 1 by 2. Sine, let's say 60 degree. That is root 3 by 2. Now, if I'm saying find the value of sine 210. Oh, how do we find the value of that? It is greater than 90, right? So my first question to you is the angles are only restricted from 0 to 90 degree? No, right? Because we have learned about 120 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree, 360 degree, complete angle, right? Complete circle, right? So that means angles are not restricted to it. So why we are restricting ourselves to 0 to 90 degree in trigonometry? Let's see. So our main motive is to find the value of this. Okay. So in order to understand it, let's first understand the composite angles. So not composite, complementary angle. Suppose there is a right angle triangle. Okay, this is right angle triangle. Let me name this triangle as ABC, and this AB, you already know this is hypotenuse. Now tell me, how do I get to know which side will be act as perpendicular or base? No, we don't know exactly, right? But there is a trick that the theta on which we are telling will determine which side will become perpendicular or base. Okay, so now suppose this angle A is theta. What is base actually, class? Base is a supporting side which supports theta and 90 degree. Okay, so AC is acting as a base for this theta and this 90 degree. So for theta, my base is AC. And let's say this is alpha. For alpha, what will be the base? This BC side is now acting as a base or acting as a supporter for alpha degree and this 90 degrees. So alpha, this BC is acting as a base, and other side is automatically becomes the perpendicular. Okay, now coming to my first question, what is sine theta? If we know sine theta is perpendicular by hypotenuse, right? So the theta is opposite to BC will be perpendicular, right? Theta side opposite to theta, BC, divided by hypotenuse is AB. Now next question is, what is cos alpha? If you see, cos alpha is what? Cos alpha is base by hypotenuse, right? So base by hypotenuse, for this alpha, BC is my base. Yes, because it is supporting. So that means I can say that BC by hypotenuse is again AB. So all these we are dealing because we know these basic. So I'm understanding that you know these basic rules, okay, or basic ratios. Now coming to this part, are they same? Yes, they are same. So can I say that sine theta is equals to cos alpha? Yes or no? Now my next question to you is that theta and alpha are, is there any relation between them? Do you know about angle sum property? theta plus alpha plus 90 should be equals to 180 degree angle sum property, right? So that means alpha is nothing but 90 minus theta, right? So can I replace this alpha with 90 minus theta? Yes, I can. So I get a value cos of 90 minus theta is equals to sine theta. Any doubt? Okay. Now, next thing, remember this thing, whenever we are considering our angle with respect to 90 degrees, my cos is converted into sine. Can someone tell me why it is happening? See, basically what is going on, whenever we talk about complementary angles, if this is theta, this is 90, the other angle is automatically becomes 90 minus theta. But if I take that 90 minus theta, for that the base and perpendicular get flipped. Now for whatever the, for theta, whatever the base, this was the base na, now it is acting as a perpendicular for 90 minus theta. So due to this conversion of perpendicular and base, our trigonometric ratios are also converting. So sine becomes cos, cos becomes sine, tangent become cot, cot become tangent, secant become cot secant, cosecant becomes secant. Okay, understood this part? So remember this thing. Now we are defining our plane into Cartesian plane. Let's talk about this. This is y-axis, this is x-axis, right? This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Now let's write the values we know. 0 degree, y will be 0 plus 90 degree, which is 90 degree. What is 90 plus 90? 180 degrees. 180 plus 90? 270 degree. 270 plus 90 will be 360 degrees. Okay. And we already know this is known as first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant according to coordinate geometry. Now let's talk about how can I say which quadrant my angle is. For example, suppose I have some angle here. Okay, let me just erase this. Let's say there is some angle. This is my angle. Okay, let's say this is alpha. So how do I get to know that this angle is in the second quadrant? Can I use these measurements or the reference point to find the value of that? So can I say that this is nothing but, let's say this is theta. So this angle will be 90 plus theta. Alpha is nothing but 90 plus theta, right? So basically, can I say that greater than 90 and less than 180 will lie in this second quadrant? So the general way of writing any angle in that quadrant will become 90 plus theta or 180 minus theta. Now talking about third quadrant, this is 180 plus theta, means something adding to 180, and 270 minus theta. So 270 minus theta. Now this theta is an acute angle, means it is lies between 0 to 90 degree. Okay. Now talking about fourth quadrant, it is again 270 plus theta or 360 minus theta, or minus theta we can say, right? Negative theta like this. This is negative theta. The angle is always in anti-clockwise direction. See, any two rays if I'm drawing, we always measure angle from anti-clockwise. So this is my theta. But we are going in negative direction or opposite. That is why it is minus theta. Understood? Now for first quadrant, it can be theta, it can be 360 plus theta, it can be 90 minus theta. Right? Now let's talk about the trigonometric value. Will it be positive in which quadrant? Right. So let's see this graph again. But I want the sign. Is it positive or negative of sine theta, cos theta, tangent theta? Okay. So here is the graph again. This is first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Now this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Class, suppose if I take this theta here, okay, let's make one triangle. Tell me, this y is positive y and this is positive x, right? So what is sine theta in this case? Sine theta will be, let's say this is R also. This is center O, this is A, this is B. So theta, sine theta will be perpendicular by hypotenuse. So can I say y by r, which is positive? What is cos theta in this case? Cos is base by hypotenuse, so which is x by r, again positive. Tangent, if we talk about tangent, is perpendicular upon base, right? So means y by x, which is again positive. Now let's talk about second quadrant. This is theta now. Now in this case, my y will be plus positive, it is, but my x will be negative, right? Negative x-axis. So let's talk about sine theta in this case. Sine theta will be y by r. Let's say this is also r. Y by r, again positive. What is cos? Cos theta is base by hypotenuse. So base is minus x is here. Minus x by r, which is negative. And tangent, what is tangent here? Perpendicular by base means y by minus x, again negative. Now talking about next quadrant, let's say this quadrant. In this quadrant, this is theta. Now tell me, is y is negative? Yes, y is in negative downside, and x is already negative in this case. So what is sine theta in this case? Sine theta perpendicular by hypotenuse, so minus y by r, which is negative. What is cos theta in this? What is cos? Minus x by r, negative again. What is tangent theta in this? Minus y by minus x. So this get cancelled out, I will get plus. The value of tangent will be positive. Now let's talk about last quadrant, fourth quadrant. This is theta. In this case, my y is negative, but my x is positive. What is sine theta in this case? Sine theta is again minus y by r, negative. What is cos theta in this case? Base by hypotenuse means plus x by r, positive. What is tangent in this case? Tangent is perpendicular by base, so minus y by what? X. So I'm getting negative. So this is very complex class, right? I need to remember all things, right? Is there any trick to remember quickly? There is one trick which is known as add sugar to coffee. Okay, so add sugar to coffee is a abbreviation which can be used to determine all the things. A stands for all are positive. Sine, cos, tan are positive. S stands for only sine is positive, other are negative. What is tangent? T stands for tangent is positive, other are negative. And C stands for cos is positive, other are negative. So this is a trick to remember this. Add sugar to coffee. Right? This is interesting now. So now talking about next thing, just remember when what we did when I write sine of 190 minus theta. What I did, I just write cos theta, or cos of 90 minus theta I wrote what? Sine theta. This was the property of complement angle, right? Now see class, whenever we are comparing our angle with respect to y-axis, means I can say any angle as 90 plus minus theta or 270 plus minus theta. I need to change my trigonometric ratio value. Basically, in that scenario, I will convert sine into cos, cos into sine, tangent into cot, cot into tangent, and secant into cosecant, cosecant into cot, cosecant into secant, sorry. Understood? Why we are doing that? Because our sides change. Perpendicular become base, base becomes perpendicular. But when we are talking or comparing our angle with respect to x-axis or horizontal line, we will do nothing. Okay, because the sides are not changing in that case. Okay, now coming to our original question. The question says that find the value of sine 210. Now, how can I write this 210 with respect to these reference point? Let me just draw it here. This is x-axis, y-axis, 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, and 270 degree, right? Now this is first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. And there is a trick. Add sugar to coffee. Okay. Now let's see. 200 and with the reference of these reference points, can I say this is nothing but sine of 270 minus 60 degree? Someone will say, why, sir? Why can't we just write sine of 180 plus 30 degree? That is also true. Very good. Correct. Absolutely. So now let's see one by one. When I talk about sine of 270 plus minus theta, I told you we are comparing with vertical line, means y-axis. So I will convert sine into cos. And the 60 as it is we will write. Now 270 minus theta will lie in which quadrant? This is 270. Minus theta means third quadrant. Now I'm checking is sine is positive in that quadrant. No, only tangent is positive. So I will put negative cos 60. Now what is cos 60? Minus 1 by 2. Very good. So I'm getting from this is minus 1 by 2. Let's check with this. Now I'm comparing 180 plus theta, means horizontal line I'm comparing with, means sine will not change. It will be sine will be sine. 30 degree. Now what is 180 plus theta? 180 is this negative side of x-axis, plus theta means we are in again in third quadrant. Is sine positive in that quadrant? No, it is negative. What is sine 30 class? It is again 1 by 2. Can you see both are absolutely same? Means any way, any possible way you can write, you will get the same result. Okay, let's see one more question. I am saying uh, sine of 360 or 300 degrees. Sine of 300 degrees. So can I write, someone will write sine of 360 minus 60, or other can write sine of 270 plus 30. Yes. So let's see. We are comparing with horizontal line, means this x-axis we are comparing. So sine will be sine in this case 60 degree. What is 360 minus theta? This is 0 comma 360 degree, right? 360 minus theta will be fourth quadrant. Is sine positive in that quadrant? No, it is negative. So I will get minus root 3 by 2. Right. Now for this sine of 270 plus theta. 270 is coming, means we are comparing with what line? We are comparing with vertical line, means I need to convert sine into cos. Now this is 30 degree. What is 270 plus theta? This is 270, right? Plus theta will be again in fourth quadrant. Is sine positive in that quadrant? No. So it is negative. So I will again get minus root 3 by 2. Right? Yes or no, class? So hope you like this video, understand this video. Have a nice day. Bye.